What happens when you try to adapt a sequel game whose story has been altered so much by the previous adaptation that its main character hasn't even been born, nor have the main antagonists even been established? A world of someone's retcon delusions come to life.
Blue sky to forever, the green grass blows in the wind dancing. It would be a much better sight with you, with me.
This film's a mess. Now, you'd think a Silent Hill film that tried to stay closer to the game's storyline be something that'd get me to shut my bitch hole, but it's again similar to the first film by just loosely following the basic plot of the game while stripping some of the most important parts out. The atmospheric horror of Silent Hill is again very much lessened due to the execution in this film, and this time very strong character motivations from the story they're adapting are lost in the translation. Now, Silent Hill Revelation is an adaptation of Silent Hill 3, which was actually a direct continuation of the first Silent Hill's story. In this game, the main protagonist was Heather Mason, the reincarnation of both Alessa and Cheryl as one being again, who Harry decided was worth having to change diapers for the second time round and adopted her again as he had Cheryl. Harry Mason, the protagonist of the first game, is the name Sean Bean's character Christopher Da Silva uses after he and Sharon have to go into hiding after he had to kill a cult member trying to get Sharon, much like in the game's storyline. Cute reference. Real fucking cute! That's alright. And this makes the Heather in the movie just Sharon under another name rather than a reborn being who ends up getting 3 sets of memories floating around her head. And despite the implication that Alessa had actually remerged with Sharon at the end of the first film, we see that Alessa is in fact still in Silent Hill. Anyway, starting off, we see Film Heather has grown up into someone who looks nothing like Jodelle Ferland. And we get introduced to one of the many problems of this film, the subtle atmospheric horror of Silent Hill. One of the reasons the game's worked so well is thrown away for in-your-face horror and jump scares. First, Heather ends up right by a body in a Robbie the Rabbit suit. She stares at it, making it just all too obvious it's gonna do something, and here's the execution. Now, imagine the scene done again with the body not being focused on first as you see Heather hiding, then without jump scare noise, you see the head slowly turn. Heather realizes something is wrong and turns to Robbie and maybe hears a quiet moan from the suit and blood starts trickling from an eye. Would have made her likely to run away all the same and would have been creepy instead of a cheap loud noise scare. Anyway, what makes the merry-go-round? Pyramid Head just wants to bring joy to everyone. He's just such a nice guy. No, really, Pyramid Head is a nice guy in this film. And after being told by Alessa she can never defeat her because mwahaha she's an evil genius, Heather wakes up to reveal it was all just a dream. Within a dream. Yes, this film seriously just dream within a dreamed us. Any other brilliance you'd like to lay on us, Silent Hill Revelation? That didn't just happen. No, I refuse to acknowledge that just happened. A pop-tart jump scare! Damn you, Silent Hill! Damn you to pastry hell! Is that shot out of focus? Maybe something got screwed up in the transfer from the all-important 3D, but either way, good one! Speaking of 3D, it felt fairly pointless like usual, and this comment, but the ash looked pretty good. Just as long as you didn't try to look at it as it went past the screen area, which is something you tend to want to do when it looks like something's flying towards you. Anyway, now that Heather's all grown up, she's matured into taking the silent part of Silent Hill into account and just writes it down in a dream journal instead of Silent Hill! which Shawnee Beanson of course steals, meaning she never remembers writing down any of these or her dreams at all, despite referencing her dream earlier.
What?
Just what you said in my dream.
Great continuity. And why wouldn't he put these in a box with the halo of the sun on it, the symbol of the cult in the game and this film? Despite their symbol looking like this last time, but that's what retconning is for. Seriously though, why does Harry have a box with that on it? How does he have a box with that on it? Those are questions best left for not getting answered. Speaking of unanswered questions, in our Rose cameo flashback, we learn that she somehow figured out a way to mirror communicate with Shawnee Bean and teleport Sharon out of the fog world via half a seal of Metatron. Maybe Alessa stepped out of Sharon after she realized they were getting nowhere and threw Rose a bone.
What happened? I don't remember anything.
You were in an accident.
Where's Mommy?
Oh good, it's convenient memory loss, so she can forget Silent Hill so it's new again, but she'll still remember that Mommy Dearest took an otherworld vacation.
They'll come looking for her because they need her.
They need her for what? A witch to burn because she was born out of wedlock? Oh wait, sorry, she's supposed to birth the cult's god now, just like in the game. Glad that's not a confusing switch. Oh look, a bum! And he became an actual bum face. Well, no wonder that jump scared Heather back. No telling what the gases from that thing smell like. Farts!
I would like to welcome some new students who will be joining us this semester. Heather Mason. Could you say hello to the class, Heather?
What is this, an elementary school? Well, apparently the way everyone is giggling about Heather's clothes, so she gives a speech about how she gives no fucks about them as she'll be somewhere else soon, which starts making Vincent here fall in love with her. Yes, really. Well, now's about as good a time as any to sum up Douglas Cartland. He's a PI hired by the Order, Silent Hill's cult, to track down Heather. He does so, but starts having regrets and tries to warn Heather. In the game, Heather is off-put by the stranger trying to talk to her about her past and tries to avoid him. In this film, he flat out acts like a creeper standing in the distance staring at her. Big shock she doesn't want to talk to you after that, Douglas. Take a cue from your game counterpart about not acting like a creeper.
Hold on. There's someone that wants to meet you.
My penis! Damn it, that's a code! He doesn't normally do that, nor is Heather normally Sailor Moon. So Douglas follows some of the same path, just most of his point is cut. In the game, Douglas spends the whole time trying to put right what once went wrong and hoping each leap will be the leap out of the other world and he and Heather bond during the events. In this film, he dies at the mall to the stupid saw blade face creature. He makes little to no impact and could have easily been dropped from the story, and his voice in the game was way cooler.
Are you still following me? Do I have to scream?
Sorry. I'll wait here.
And with the mall sequence in this film, it's again too loud and in your face about its execution. It starts off ominous with the little things like the cake and the balloons wishing Heather a happy birthday, but quickly drops the subtlety by having everyone's face change and being really loud, and it just kind of sits at this level for a while. Instead of feeling atmospheric and off-putting, it makes you feel kind of used to it. If it had stayed more quiet with the brief flashes of things being wrong leading up to running away from Douglas, it would have been way more effective.
What's wrong?
I can't tell you.
It's okay, you can tell me.
Oh, okay, I didn't realize I could tell you. That changes everything.
What's the matter?
Do you see them?
Why the fuck would Heather see random cult members? They have no control over Silent Hill or the other world. It makes no sense and was pointless.
It's just another thing to prove that I'm going crazy.
Whoa, sweet transition. Don't know what I've been complaining about. This movie's hitting the high notes now. Well, I'm gonna keep acting really standoffish towards you, Vincent Hole.
Holy fuck, I love you.
Dad?
Silent
So here's another big change from game to film. Sean Bean got kidnapped by the Order in order to lure Heather to Silent Hill. In the game, it was much more personal. Harry was murdered by them, and the woman responsible in both the game and this film is Claudia Wolf. In the game, you not only meet her a few times over the course of the events, but she was a childhood friend of Alessa, making her have even more of a meaning once Heather starts regaining those memories. In this film, Heather only comes face to face with Claudia towards the end. And the motivation, while of course still making sense in the film, is emotionally driven much higher by Harry's death, as Heather knows Claudia is responsible and wants revenge.
When I find her, I'll kill her myself.
Revenge doesn't solve anything.
Maybe not, but that's what I'm going to do.
The police show up since Douglas's body was found, and Heather made the poor decision of shedding all over him beforehand. And then Vincent makes the completely asinine decision of helping Heather run away from the police and driving her to Silent Hill because he's known her a single day. But it makes a little more sense once you find out he's involved with the cult. A little more sense. And to try and make the pointless Sean Bean patting scenes from the previous film have relevance now, his box O Silent Hill contains an FAQ, complete with monster drawings. Who the hell actually did those, though? I'd love to know.
It says here, religious zealots called the Order of Valtiel secretly ran the town for the last 100 years.
Now, this is another confusing change. In the games, the Order is known as just that, not the Order of Valtiel. Valtiel's role was to watch over Heather as the Holy Mother and often appeared during transitions to the other world. The halo of the sun the film still uses for the Order's symbol was for the sun god, and Valtiel is actually branded with the seal of Metatron. The seal Alessa used to try and stop her mother and the Order in the first game.
Alessa's revenge was to summon a world of darkness filled with terrifying creatures. This one, it says, is her guardian.
Oh, is that what Pyramid Head is? Really, Revelation? What a revelation. Needless to say, since Pyramid Head never showed up in a game with Alessa, this was not his role, and I get the feeling that this wasn't quite his role in the previous film either. Oh wait, it wasn't, because he tried to kill Rose, and Alessa's whole point in bringing Rose into Silent Hill was to kill off the last of the cult. Something this film has now made her completely fail at, as there are a shit ton more cult members just shitting around the town, not even protected. Kinda missed the obvious and blew it big time there, huh, Alessa?
I'm burning.
I don't think you should go to Silent Hill.
I need to find him.
I just don't want anything to happen to you.
I've known you a whole part of the day, and you tried to blow me off or on the run from the police and got me to drive you somewhere. We were meant to be. If you can't tell, I hate this little tacked on subplot of Vincent being a romantic interest. You want to know how Heather felt about Vincent in the game? I think it can be summed up well with a single noise.
Hiya, Heather.
You show up everywhere, don't you?
Vincent was a member of the cult in the game as well, but he was their aristocratic financial backer. He followed the same beliefs of the cult, but disagreed with Claudia about actually having their god being given physical birth, and used Heather for his own means. So of course, Heather loved him. I love to imagine that this is everyday life in Silent Hill now. Alessa very slowly taking care of that mess she meant to have done like 7 years ago. Good one. Also, I know you don't have child Jodelle Ferdland to play her anymore due to that little case 39 of her growing up, but you could have at least done the makeup consistently.
You don't understand.
I do.
No, you don't. How could you?
Because I am a child of the Order.
Da-da-da-da.
The Order of
Curian.
That's not possible. The Order are trapped in Silent Hill. The Notebook said so.
It is possible for a few to escape just for a while, but it requires sacrifice and suffering.
Does that mean Rose sacrificed someone, or does the seal way out not require that? And how many people do you actually have left to sacrifice still?
How could you do this to me?
Do what? Be born? A better question is, how could a day of you spitting on him turn him on your side? Guess he's into masochism.
All that any of us are taught is that Alessa is the great evil of the world. She trapped us, she brings the darkness in you. You are part of that evil. But I know that's not true. If you are part of Alessa, you're the innocent part.
What did you expect her to be like, wearing a witch hat and laughing? I'm so evil! So they get sucked into the other world, somehow, despite Vincent just saying a second ago that Alessa controls it, meaning there is no reason for Heather to have got sucked into it at any point during this film.
You did this.
Well, you gave up on that whole you must be the good half thing pretty quick, huh, Vincent? No wonder you fell in love with her and abandoned your beliefs in a day. Anyway, this little otherworld diversion allows Sawface to grab Vincent for the cult and KO Heather. Clearly Alessa would want that. Well, luckily Silent Hill is in walking distance and not barred up anymore, or maybe it's just not in the fog world, which again, like in the first film, I can say they did a good job with having the giant not so empty city. Seriously, what the fuck are these shitters doing? Just standing in the windows waiting for their daily Alessa terrorizement? Whatever, why hasn't she killed them yet?
Toasty! I know who you are.
A cameo appearance.
How could you let them burn her?
No, I loved her. I was deceived.
When they said they were gonna burn her, I thought they meant they were gonna burn her! You know, like with insults! I'm stupid.
Alessa was special. She was the only one who could survive the fire. That's why she was chosen.
No, it wasn't. It was because she was a child born out of wedlock, making her a witch.
Why you won't just name the Father? You have brought sin amongst us. The faithful must gather in judgment, for we are called to purify this field.
It's really amazing when movies blatantly contradict themselves like this. What is the point of making this only sort of trying to follow the previous film? If you don't want to follow it up, don't! But it's not like I forgot the stupid witch burning crap. If that wasn't in the first film, I would have had a lot less to bitch about.
Alessa knew there was a part of her that could still be free from pain. So she took that last innocent part of her soul and placed it into a newborn orphan child.
Wow, Dahlia's just full of the retcons in her little cameo scene. Sharon, like Cheryl, was her own being in the first film. She didn't overwrite another baby's soul, and how the shit does that make her grow up with the same physical appearance? Oh wait, it wouldn't do that. What a revelation.
Just tell me what you know.
I know the darkness is coming. It's safer to be inside. Run.
Oh well, thanks for being as useless as ever. Bye, good guy Dahlia. No! Save it. This is gonna be a two-parter.
To give in to the town that takes all. Survive, you must have will. This movie doesn't end the way we want. All the time when he shouts at the moon. Walking